A family game night has just gotten way more fun for any heavy metal fan, as from now on we got an official permission to blast Iron Maiden over a friendly game of Monopoly.
Music! We need music! This is music!
So by popular request, let's take a look at what is inside the new Iron Maiden Monopoly game, discuss all the little Easter eggs and surprises that are hidden in there, and then hopefully answer the popular question whether it was worth the money. Here you go. Alright, so first of all, let's open it. It came to me from the United States and I got it for like 45 bucks minus 10% discount for that being my first purchase at the OP Games store. And right in front we have all the different kind of eddies, with the Somewhere in Time and Senjutsu eddy of course being in the center, which is very much understandable given it's you know, the Future Past tour is going on right now. And overall, all of the eddies which appear here on the front cover are actually the eddies which appeared on stage, not the ones that appeared on album covers throughout the years. Hence, I guess, is the title of this Monopoly game being Iron Maiden Somewhere on Tour. Which kind of, and I know that I might actually be overthinking it, but tends me to believe that the Future Past tour that is going on right now might actually go for much longer than originally expected, just simply because of the fact that this game is pretty much designed to promote the Future Past tour, and it came out just now, and especially in the United States where no dates have been announced yet. So I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that very soon we'll hear about more of the Future Past tour dates, and especially in the United States and South America and you know, all the other locations that we actually discussed with you during one of our prediction episodes for this tour.
Nice!
But on the back here we get to see what pretty much is inside. I guess no point of going over it. Let's just open it instead, shall we? Alright, so over here we get the money, and I think it's pretty understandable that these are gonna be called 80 bucks or something like this. We got a Stratego Addy over here on all the bucks, you know, in different colors. Pretty straightforward. So let's go straight to the most important thing, the field. Alright, so just as was announced, all of the fields over here are pretty much Iron Maiden albums, and they are located, it looks like, in chronological order, starting with Iron Maiden, going into Killers. Then we have the Green Goddess. Alright, so that's a cool one. The Green Goddess, for those of you who don't know, it was the name of the very first tour bus that Iron Maiden purchased. Well, it wasn't really a tour bus, but the guys converted it into a tour bus, and they gave it a title of Green Goddess simply because it was green.
Bought a 3-ton truck, which we called the Green Goddess, and because it was green. And we just converted the back half of it, we had a tail lift on it, put the gear in it, and the front part converted into you know, place for us to sleep, like bunk beds sort of in the back.
Although if I remember correctly, Green Goddess was actually a name for a military vehicle produced in the United Kingdom sometime around the 40s or the 50s, something like that. So in my opinion, it's just super cool that they included this one over here. I honestly did not expect, because the guys never talk about it anymore. But it's a really cool Easter egg for all the die-hard Iron Maiden fans.
I just used to get on the Green Goddess and it'd take me to the gig, and I'd get out, go on stage, come off and get on the Green Goddess and off again. I really don't know where we went.
After that, the fields go into the Number of the Beast, Peace of Mind, Power Slave, and all the other studio albums released by the band all the way until the latest studio output, Senjutsu. In addition, we have Live After Death and several other iconic live albums, including a real live one, Somewhere Back in Time, and Nights of the Dead.
There you go. That's it.
In addition to the Green Goddess, we have some other means of transportation, those of course being different Ad Force 1 planes, and several stands, such as the Trooper Beer stand and the Future Past Tour merch stand, which is thoughtfully located around the Somewhere in Time album area, and which I guess is designed to replace the classic Monopoly fields. But I have to come out to you and say straight that I'm not too sure what they represent. Because guys, you have to bear with me, because I'll have to be honest with you, I'm not actually a Monopoly fan or an expert, so kind of have to discover what all of this means. But most important, in the center we have 12 different eddies and a bunch of Easter eggs hidden in the picture. The stage on the left, of course, refers to the band's very first tour, which we can see from the glowing eyes Addy backdrop. Then we have the Aces High Addy, who is holding Dave Murray's Fender guitar, the Black West Eddie with Nico McBrain's drumstick, and Sudi, the infamous teddy bear who gets to travel the world together with the drummer, the Mummy Eddie from the World Slavery Tour, the Book of Souls Eddie, the Number of the Beast Eddie who turned out to be a West Ham fan and gets to play with Steve Harris's bass, the Senjutsu Eddie, the Cyborg Eddie, the latest incarnation of the Trooper Eddie who appeared during the Legacy of the Beast tour, alongside another Legacy of the Beast Eddie driving a truck, the seventh son of a seventh son Eddie, followed by the Final Frontier one who is holding a guitar case with the stickers referring to some of the most iconic clubs and venues Iron Maiden played during their early days, and a matter of life and death Eddie with Bruce's mic stand. And in the back over here, as if in contrast to the stage on the left, we have everything related to the band's latest and still ongoing The Future Past tour with the direction post, which might as well be the most important part of this whole image.
Yep.
And here's the thing, it could be nothing, but at the same time, this post is located next to everything related to the Future Past tour. And since we know that this year Iron Maiden did not bring the Future Past tour to the legendary Download Festival, maybe, just maybe, the band is actually hinting that they will take the Future Past tour on the road further and will appear with a show at the Rock in Rio Festival in 2024, return to Europe and play the Download Festival next year, and once again visit the Long Beach Arena in California. In addition, we have here a Spitfire, 3 different Ad Force 1 planes, and a Brave New World Addy designed by Derek Riggs. And other than that, I guess it's a regular Monopoly field, although if it was originally designed by nobody else but Eddie the Head himself.
Shut up and take my money!
So I guess now would be a good time for us to take a look at all of the different... How the f***, dude? So I guess now would be a good time for us to take a look at all the different figures which are included with this one. Right, so what do we have here? These are really small. I imagine them to be much, much bigger than that. We have a guitar. This is a bass guitar, so Steve Harris's bass guitar over here. We have the computer rig from Wasted Years. We have, what's that? It's kind of hard to tell, but I assume it's an amplifier. We have Bruce Dickinson's helmet, or Eddie's helmet, who knows. Nico's drum set over here, and this one comes from one of the past tours. You can see it over here. That's a good one. And we have a shot through Albatross, which I guess most of the fans would most likely connect the dots and find the connection with this track. And here's the thing, well, in all fairness, those figures are actually pretty nice. There are 6 tokens in this game. And guess how many band members there are at Iron Maiden. And well, this of course is not a big deal, but I have no idea how, in addition to Steve Harris's bass and Nico's drum set, we don't have Bruce Dickinson's mic stand and the 3 guitars.
Why?
Although I guess the guys at Hasbro could have thought that those guitars would have looked very, very similar, and in all fairness, they would have, most likely, and thus it would be really confusing for a regular gamer, you know, to distinguish them on a field. But at the same time, let's not forget that this Monopoly, I mean, it's not really a regular Monopoly. I mean, a regular guy who just walks into a normal board game store to get a Monopoly most likely would not go, you know what, although I'm not a fan, I'll get an Iron Maiden version of Monopoly. No, this version is for die-hard Iron Maiden fans. And in all fairness, I think all of us would be able to distinguish Yannick Gers and Adrian Smith's guitars. And once again, this is not really a big deal, although I see this as a kind of a missed opportunity to make this game even cooler than it actually is.
It seemed like such a simple idea.
Now, let's take a look at these cards. And what do we have here? What we have here is, of course, all of the different fields and the property cards for them, and feeling lucky cards, which are, which look like this, and then we have out of the box ones with Addy on them. Get out of jail for free, pay 50, 80 bucks, and stuff like that. Once again, look pretty nice, nothing too special, regular Monopoly cards, and nothing very specific to Iron Maiden so far, but I guess once again, how can you make them more specific to Iron Maiden than the way you already did that?
Exactly.
And the rest of the items, including the dice and all the buildings, are exactly the same as in regular Monopoly, so I guess there is no point of us going over them in this video.
Yes, that's true.
So, is this Monopoly in any way fundamentally different from a regular Monopoly? Not at all. So, is it worth an Iron Maiden fan's attention? Definitely yes. It is very well made, very thought through, and is simply full of all the little Easter eggs for all of the die-hard Iron Maiden fans. And here's the thing, the price tag on the OP Games website was $45, and I got a 10% discount for it being my first purchase on the website. So I basically got this one for $40, and I'm not sure about any other countries, but this is exactly the price which I'd pay for regular Monopoly if I just simply go out to any store and purchase one. So in a nutshell, for $40 I found a way to turn a regular family game night into the one which I would enjoy much more than usual.
I love it!
So my verdict is that if you simply hate Monopoly, then let's be honest here, this version will not bring anything new to the table.
Nothing new.
And the same of course goes for those who are not really die-hard Iron Maiden fans, because most likely you would not enjoy this game as much as I did. But at the same time, if you are an Iron Maiden memorabilia collector, then it is definitely one of those pieces of Iron Maiden memorabilia that you kinda have to have in your collection. So I would say that if you have an ability to purchase it, then definitely go for it.
Nice.
But anyways, what do you guys personally think about heavy metal bands collaborating with mainstream brands to release such items like, for example, Iron Maiden Monopoly? Please let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this very short video, guys. The next video on the channel will be about the heyday of new wave of British heavy metal and whether there was even such thing as new wave of British heavy metal. But most important, thank you so much for supporting me, this show, and Ukraine through this very, very difficult time. We will prevail. Slava Ukraini!